Welcome back, everyone. Okay, so we're going to continue the feminine collective that we've been talking about for the last couple of videos. Still a lot of information coming through. This one's really good message today. It taps on one of the questions that came from someone on the group about women against each other. Sort of clarifies a little bit about that. Some very interesting stuff that's come up. I've learned a lot from this message today as well, just especially about the astral plane and its influence. It's quite interesting. Actually got a vision when I was channeling, and I could actually see these entities that I'm going to talk about. It was a very sort of different feel, sort of the lack of that emotion. But when you hear the message, you'll understand what I'm saying anyway. So obviously, we're going through this chaos field at the moment, and that is really there to obviously turn everything on its head. So consciousness can then sort of shine out of the heart center. So it's really, the chaos is really letting go of the mental energy, and that's what we're seeing around the planet at the moment. It's that male energy trying to release itself. But there's been so much confusion around who we are as actual beings, that the ego is fighting to hold on. It's fighting to hold on. And it's probably going to go over the next 24 months, I'd say, intuitively, is what we're feeling. But this chaos is going to sort of continue. But there's that frequency in the chaos, obviously, that's going to change things. Okay, this is what's going to rebirth consciousness as the energy of illusion starts to dissolve itself. And it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be very, very interesting. There's a lot of people that are going to go, it's going to be, like I said, post-July, people have been working on themselves are going to start to feel much better. But we will see a dip down again in human collective consciousness, because people are still misinformed of the truth. They're still playing into the narrative on the news and all the rest of it, and what society's putting out there. And of course, that's causing even more pain in their cellular bodies, more of a divide in the information, the true information of who they really are. And of course, puts more people in despair and fear. So we're going to see despair and fear again augment itself around the planet, and that can manifest in any way. However, this is, again, it's all part of the shift, and it's okay. But obviously there's going to be people around you, and family and friends, so you might get pulled into that emotionally. So just be very aware not to get into people's stories, and we've talked about that before, because you need to keep your frequency out now. You need to be detached to help someone. You can't go in there with that emotional energy. You need to be detached and then allow the information to come to you, which can assist them. And this is why it's always important to talk to someone's soul before you go and help someone, because the soul will give you the right information. It will tell you exactly what the person needs. And especially as sort of healers, as therapists, that's obviously an important aspect of working on that level. But even just talking, anyone can talk to anyone's soul. You just need to set the intention and use your imagination. And generally things will start to shift for them, because the soul is dying to connect with the human being. And as soon as you activate conversation with someone's soul, that sort of opens, if you want to call it a portal, opens a channel of information. And it, of course, then can assist that person. Trying to talk to their ego or through their conditioned self is very, very hard. That's why people hit a brick wall trying to talk to people, and many times things don't move, because you're trying to penetrate conditioning that's been there for thousands of years. So you need to go above the head, as we say. I'm going to go above your head to get things done. It's exactly the same analogy as you would on a corporate ladder. You do it at the soul level as well. Okay, so I'm going to get straight into this message. Again, like I said, there's not many people have posted any messages or talks about this, so I'm just going to keep going with what's spirit. But like I said, if there's anything around the feminine that you feel is unanswered or would like to know, and then if it's relevant to what we're doing, then of course I'll put that in as a question through the channeling process, and then go from there. Okay, so basically I just asked, what is a female consciousness at the moment? And this is what came through. Okay. All right, so again, this has come from a different, actually, yes, I must say, I thought it was going to come through my usual channels, but it didn't. This being's name is Asar. She actually gave me a little bit of a message, so I'll just keep it in here anyway. And then you obviously know where I'm coming from as well. So, I am Asar, keeper. Excuse me, before I start, Spirit never normally use names, so I don't normally get names because they work as a collective consciousness. So it's more group energy. So they just create singular names because human beings need to identify with a singularity, with a name, with a consciousness. So the fact that she's given a name is really nice. Okay, so I am Asar, keeper and watcher of the feminine expression on your planet. I am here to assist you. I come in various forms to your planet and have been depicted as a goat through your ancient cultures. I would like to take this opportunity to thank you for your service and to help guide you with your work. I feel you need to help the feminine re-establish itself so the vulnerability of the feminine energy may express itself freely. So this is why we're doing this. So basically this is great. The collective consciousness around the feminine has been tainted. And when I say tainted, I mean it is in the shadow of the male expression and feels undervalued, unexplored, and eradicated completely in some countries. The day-to-day female on your planet is in conflict through various forms, and it's the anger at the abuse of the feminine that is still holding the feminine expression back. There is so much fear instilled in many cultures to actually speak her truth, speak her mind, and even discuss her feelings. Women turn on other women because their survival energy is at an all-time low. And when you keep relationships at a basal level, you are prone to attack. Sitting within the collective unconscious of many females is the belief that to go ahead, you need to use male energy. And men have been at this war for so long, or have been at war for so long, that deception and suppression have dominated the male arena. And you see this daily in your work environments. So when a female fires into this energetic field to get ahead, she can automatically adopt this frequency of behavior. And it can cause a lot of emotional upset to a female when she tries to run her life from the mental energy, which is male energy. Because emotion, which is a feminine energy, gets suppressed in your modern day world. So what happens is the female can become quite hard and detached, creating great confusion. However, connecting in with the suppressed anger can actually assist females to create their own businesses and move away from male dominance. But this is rare at this stage. So what you are seeing is women are turning on each other because there is no real fear between women. So they feel it's safe unconsciously to express their anger and inadequacy at another female with no fear of reprisal. But with men, because the feminine genetics are so programmed to be subservient to the male force, that it's hard for females to express their pain safely. What you are seeing on social media is the basal desire being expressed, because men can be controlled through sex. So you get these comparisons and judgments between females, because deep down they are projecting the only power they feel will soften a man. And this is where the jealousy starts between other females. The implants and the restructuring of the feminine body is coming from astral plane energies, influencing women to live out their desire. The Barbie doll archetype is very much their projection. You must understand there are many beings from other worlds and dimensions influencing humanity, and some can be quite macabre. You can see these energies in the collective of these women that change their bodies. It's hard to see the soul. The energy field can become almost emotionless. This is the frequency of these astral entities. When women on your planet can remember that their true source of power is their emotional energy, And when they fuse this with true vulnerability, allowing it to be expressed with no fear, it can actually dissolve the harshness of the male ego. Because in truth, this energy is the creative energy of the divine feminine. Females need to unite again in trust that if they embody this truth, it will be enough to bring balance back to the planet, but also their own individual lives. When you own this vulnerability with no anger towards the masculine, then the conflict will cease. But rallying against the male energy in female groups will not change anything because it's coming from fear and anger. You must first work on your individual cells. That changes the frequency in your cells, and then the male energy will come into balance with you. The male energy is tired and exhausted. It wants to let go, but the feminine needs to release its rage. Then balance can resume. Trying to fight the masculine at the basal level won't work. Females must remember their sacred energy of rebirth, the power of emotional energy they have. Send it out with love, not fear or anger. Then the masculine will bend to the will of the divine feminine. Okay. So, really good message. What was really great is, like I said, this feminine being has come through now, so that's great. So I assume she's going to start bringing some more of these messages forward, and so let's see where it goes. Like I said, do put other stuff on there, of course, but the good thing about working at this level now, because the frequencies are really sort of speeding up now. If that intention is set, it's going to be met with that frequency, because the frequency and intention is the same as the frequency coming onto the planet through genetic divine coding. So again, you have to have that receptor. So you need just to set that intention each day. A lot of females have that rage and it's sitting in the base chakra. So probably what will happen is there's going to be a lot more sort of period pain, lower back pain, hip problems, digestive problems. If they start to sort of augment and get and sort of come up in you, then obviously you need to tune in and see where that rage is, because it's going to come up, because it has to come up to release, and then balance, like it said, balance can resume, because we're all out of balance on some level anyway. So again, this suppression of thousands and thousands and thousands of years of that energy needs to come out, and this is also what's feeding into all the chaos at the moment, which is why the Me Too started, and why women are starting to get more of a voice. I mean, it's just in the infancy of it now, but even when that energy comes up, it's gonna come up like a flame, a fire, and you need to be able to deal with it and understand where it's coming from, and not project it out onto others, because it's very easy to project it out. And you need just to own that is your energy, that is your lifetimes of suppression, and just be aware of that, because you can cause a storm around you. I've seen it happen when it's not controlled, because the feminine rage is actually more powerful than the male energy when it's free. Because it's birth, it's everything comes from the divine feminine, the black, the void. So of course it's going to be the most powerful. It creates everything. So again, we're flipping everything on its head. But it was great. It was a great message, because there are a lot of females are very angry at the male energy. But we can't, like men, they can't keep projecting onto females as well. So there has to be responsibility taken. But we're all aware of this now. It's all happening. We just have to surrender to it. Don't need to understand it per se. You just need to have the intention, surrender to it, and it will naturally start to process through you, because the soul will take care of it. But we have to surrender to that soul, and we have to trust that soul is around us, and it will take care of this now, because we're in such a unique time, and there's not a lot of people really explaining how unique this time is right now and how amazing it is. The only reason we think it's doom and gloom is because we're watching television too much. If you tune into the frequency, the real frequency on the planet, what's happening, it's very exciting, it's liberating, it's freedom, everything's changing. So it's a very exciting time. All right, guys, so I will be back again, probably in about 10 days. I'll probably do a video every 10 days. It feels about right at the moment. So not next week, but I'll be early the following week, Monday, Tuesday, something around that day. All right, all the best. Have a lovely weekend. Take care.